Have you ever wondered what made Albert Einstein one of the most brilliant minds in history? Was he always a genius? Or did he struggle like the rest of us? What if I told you that learning English could be as fascinating as the story of this remarkable man? In today's video, you're going to do more than just learn English. You're going to experience the story of a curious boy who questioned everything, who turned silence into science and imagination into innovation. A man who didn't speak fluently until he was 4, and yet ended up changing how we understand the universe. This is not just a story, it's a powerful lesson in vocabulary, listening, and life. So sit back, put on your headphones, and get ready to improve your English through one of the most inspiring journeys ever told. Welcome to Little Steps English, where every story is a step forward.
The story of Albert Einstein, the genius who changed the world. Albert Einstein was born on March 14, 1879 in Ulm, a small town in Germany. From the very beginning, Albert was not like other children. He was quiet, thoughtful, and slow to speak. In fact, he didn't speak fluently until he was around 4 years old. Some people even thought he might have a learning disability, but little did they know that behind his silence was a mind full of questions and imagination. As a child, Einstein was curious about everything. One day, his father gave him a small compass. Albert was fascinated by how the needle always pointed in the same direction. He wondered why. That moment sparked a lifelong interest in science and understanding how the universe works. Although he was not always the best student in school, especially in subjects that didn't interest him, he loved math and physics. He often asked questions that his teachers couldn't answer. Some teachers thought he was too rebellious or didn't follow the rules. But Albert wasn't trying to be difficult. He simply wanted to understand things deeply. After finishing school, Einstein studied physics in Switzerland. At first, he had trouble finding a job as a scientist, so he worked at a patent office in Bern. It was a simple job, but it gave him time to think and write. During his spare time, he worked on scientific problems that fascinated him. Then in 1905, something amazing happened. Einstein published 4 groundbreaking scientific papers in just 1 year, a year now called his miracle year. One of those papers introduced the world to the famous equation, E equals mc squared. This equation showed that energy and mass are connected, and it became one of the most important ideas in physics. People began to realize that this quiet man working in a small office had one of the greatest minds in history. Einstein continued to develop theories about space, time, gravity, and the universe. His theory of relativity changed how scientists understood the world. He showed that time could move faster or slower depending on how fast you move, an idea that sounded like science fiction but was later proven true. In 1921, Einstein received the Nobel Prize in Physics for his work on the photoelectric effect, another discovery that helped lead to modern technologies like solar panels and digital cameras. But Einstein wasn't just a scientist, he was also a deep thinker, a peace activist, and a kind human being. He spoke out against war, supported civil rights, and believed in a world united by peace and knowledge. He once said, "Imagination is more important than knowledge, for knowledge is limited, but imagination encircles the world." In 1933, when Adolf Hitler came to power, Einstein left Germany and moved to the United States. He accepted a position at Princeton University where he continued his work until his death. Albert Einstein passed away in 1955, but his ideas live on. His curiosity, creativity, and courage continue to inspire people around the world. He showed us that even one person with a mind full of wonder and a heart full of hope can change the world forever. Even after his biggest scientific successes, Einstein stayed humble. He never saw himself as a genius. In fact, he once said, "I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious." He believed that asking questions was more important than having the right answers. This belief made him a symbol of not just intelligence, but also of lifelong learning. Einstein also cared deeply about education. He believed every child should have the freedom to think, to create, and to dream. He once wrote a letter to a little girl who was struggling with math. He told her not to worry and said, "Do not worry about your difficulties in mathematics. I can assure you mine are still greater." This showed his kindness, humility, and his desire to make others feel better about their own struggles. In his later years, Einstein became more focused on promoting peace. He regretted that his theories were used to help develop nuclear weapons. Although he never worked directly on the atomic bomb, his letter to President Roosevelt warning about Germany's nuclear program helped launch the U.S. effort. For the rest of his life, he spoke out against war and violence, and he dreamed of a world where science served humanity, not destroyed it. Even today, Einstein's face is everywhere. On posters, t-shirts, quotes, and memes. But behind the wild hair and the funny tongue-out photo is a man who truly believed in the power of thinking, learning, and imagination. He didn't care much for fame or money. He lived a simple life, often lost in thought, walking with mismatched socks and playing the violin. Music, he said, helped him think better.
And that was the story of Albert Einstein, the quiet thinker who forever changed the world with his ideas. But this wasn't just a science story. It was a lesson in believing in yourself, staying curious, and thinking differently. Along the way, you've practiced English listening, discovered new vocabulary, and experienced language in context. And if you made it this far, that means you're serious about your learning. Remember, English isn't something you memorize. It's something you live, hear, feel. And today you did all of that through a powerful real-life story. So if you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment telling us what inspired you the most, and most importantly, keep learning, keep dreaming, and take your next step right here on Little Steps English. See you in the next story. Take care.